Look at this map. The United States has Iran completely surrounded. Dozens of military bases, carrier strike groups, billions of dollars in firepower. Washington could theoretically order a full-scale ground invasion tomorrow, but they haven't. For over 4 decades, despite all the extreme tension, hostile rhetoric, and near misses, no superpower has dared to step foot inside this country. I'm gonna be blunt. If they did, they would be walking into the single most disastrous military defeat of the 21st century. And here is the crazy part. It wouldn't just be because of the Iranian military. It's actually because of the country's physical architecture. Iran isn't just a nation, it's practically a sprawling, impenetrable natural fortress. Today, we're gonna look closely at the map to break down exactly why breaching those walls is a complete geopolitical nightmare. If you look back through history, from Alexander the Great all the way to the Mongol invasions, geography has always been the ultimate deciding factor in human conflict. Flat plains invite conquest. Rugged highlands breed brutal resistance. For military planners, the map is the battlefield. But when those same planners look at a topographical map of Iran, they don't see a normal battlefield. They see an impossible logistical puzzle.
If you really want to understand why a conventional ground assault is virtually impossible, you have to strip away the politics and the alliances for a minute. You just have to look strictly at the rock, the sand, and the absolutely terrifying math of modern military supply chains. Before an invading army even gets to the mountains or the deserts, they slam right into their first enemy: sheer scale. To really wrap your head around this, look at Iraq next door. Back in 2003, the coalition invasion of Iraq moved with incredible speed because the terrain over there is relatively flat. But even with that huge geographical advantage, occupying Iraq became a multi-trillion-dollar logistical hurdle. Well, Iran is an entirely different beast. Geographically speaking, Iran is nearly 4 times the size of Iraq. You could take France, Germany, the Netherlands, Belgium, Spain, and Portugal, combine them all together, and Iran would still be bigger. Plus, you have roughly double the population of Iraq, over 80 million people, distributed across heavily fortified urban centers.
Now, a quick question for you guys before we talk about the mountains. With how advanced modern drones and air power are today, do you think physical geography even matters as much as it used to? Or does the ground still dictate the war? Let me know your take in the comments. I'm going to be reading through them later today. And hey, if you enjoy breaking down how maps shape our world, hit that subscribe button. We explore stuff like this every week. Okay, let's get back to the map. A modern, mechanized army burns through thousands of gallons of fuel and tons of ammo every single hour. To support an invasion force here, you can't just drive into Iran, you actually have to climb into it. Let's say you stage a land invasion from the west. Standing in your way is the first massive layer of the natural fortress, the Zagros Mountains. This isn't a single ridge you can just quickly cross. It is a 1,000-mile jagged wall of solid stone. Heavy armor like M1 Abrams tanks simply cannot scale sheer rock faces. You are completely reliant on paved roads and established mountain passes.
And that creates incredibly deadly choke points. Your massive invading force is funneled right into narrow, winding valleys. Defending forces don't even need a massive army to hold these passes. A small, well-hidden squad sitting on a high ridge with anti-tank guided missiles can easily destroy the front and back vehicles of your convoy. Just like that, in an instant, your high-tech armored division is turned into a multi-mile traffic jam. You're trapped in a valley, exposed to drone strikes. Progress here isn't measured in miles per day. It is measured in inches and paid for in heavy casualties. So maybe a general decides the west is a meat grinder and tries the north. Up north, the Alborz mountain range completely seals off the Caspian Sea, with peaks literally soaring over 18,000 feet. And breaching the Alborz isn't just about terrain, it's literally a matter of atmospheric physics. Up at 18,000 feet, the air becomes incredibly thin. Helicopters, which you absolutely need for moving troops and evacuating the wounded, see their lift capacity drop drastically.
The mountains physically ground your close air support. Okay, so the land borders are walled off by stone. You might be thinking, why not just attack from the sea? A D-Day style amphibious landing sounds logical, right? But look south. Iran's southern coast gives you almost no flat beaches to offload heavy armor. Instead, you're staring at sheer cliffs dropping directly into the water. Furthermore, Iran has spent decades hollowing out these coastal mountains, building vast subterranean naval bases and anti-ship missile silos right into the rock face. You'd be sailing into a zone where the mountains are essentially firing back at you. But let's assume the impossible. Let's assume a superpower absorbs catastrophic losses, grinds through the mountain choke points, and somehow breaches the outer walls. They have finally made it to the interior of the country. Well, they haven't won. They've actually just walked right into a trap, because once you breach those mountains, you are face to face with the dasht-e and the dasht-e deserts. These are vast, alien wastelands. NASA satellites have actually recorded surface temperatures in the dasht-e reaching an apocalyptic 159 degrees Fahrenheit. Out here, stretching supply lines is a logistical death sentence. At 150 plus degrees, machinery catastrophically fails. Tank engines overheat and seize up, sophisticated targeting computers literally melt down, and an infantryman carrying 80 pounds of gear, they simply cannot operate in this environment. The sheer volume of water required just to keep an army alive would require a convoy system so massive it would be completely impossible to defend. You would simply stall out, cut off by the mountains behind you and immobilized by the boiling desert around you. When military strategists sit down and look at this map, they understand the grim reality. The Zagros mountains will break your armor. The Alborz mountains will break your air support. The Persian coast will break your navy. And the dasht-e will absolutely break your logistics. This is the foundation of modern Middle Eastern geopolitics. It explains why global superpowers are forced to rely on economic sanctions, cyber warfare, and proxy alliances. The map dictates the strategy. To put boots on the ground in Iran is not merely to fight a nation or an ideology. It is to declare war against the Earth itself. And as this natural fortress proves, the Earth always wins. If you want to see how geography has perfectly protected another massive global superpower, click the video right here on the screen. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.